welcome to VSEnMe, the podcast that covers everything from VSE and all things in between. I am here with my good friend, Gonzalo Muelas Serrano. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for being here, Brittney.
Yes, we are in Germany with the VSE team hanging out. This has been a wonderful week. I'm so glad that you had me come and hang out with everybody. So this has been just a pleasure. We had our webinar yesterday and we had such a great turnout.
Yeah.
We had like 60 plus people yesterday. It was awesome. So I would love to kind of jump into what's going on with 6.4. But before we do that, I ask everybody, I want to know what got you into mainframes to start?
All right. So I think I need to go back till year 2000. At that time, I was finishing my studies, and that was my last year of university I did in Germany. And then I was looking for a position in Germany, and I applied for a job at IBM in Böblingen, close to Stuttgart. At that time, I remember I had 3 interviews. One was with IBM C hardware development, IBM C firmware development, and then IBM C VSE. The team at that time was VSE ESA. And then from all of the interviews that I had, I was most interested in operating system development, and that's how I started in November 2000.
Nice. I hear most people either like applications or operating systems. Is it usually like that?
Well, yeah, I think, and again, at IBM, we had the opportunity to, at that time, to be the ones driving the operating system and developing the operating system, but also IBM had another part that was doing software for the operating system. So in that case, again, from my studies, I did computer science studies, and I like to work with operating systems, and that was how I got into that. And I think for me, was also a topic. I heard at that time that VSE, also the team was working to have also Linux and C at that time and everything. So for me, I had also a strong background in Linux, and that's how I also got into VSE as well.
Nice. And so tell us a little bit about Germany, the office here, the Center of Excellence, and your team, your role here in Germany.
Right. So basically, after lots of years at IBM, I was with IBM since November 2000 till June 2021. Then I got the opportunity to join the 21CS team globally and also build here a team in Germany. And the idea was for 2 main reasons. As we had already decided to take over the VSE mission, then there were VSE skills here in the area. Some of the people that had been working for IBM that had retired, but they were still willing to be consultants and helping the team. But also we had presence within 21CS in the US and in Australia. And here in Germany, there was, I think, one person in Berlin, but there was not really a team of people working here. And we thought it would be a great idea to create a location here to help customers that were working here in this time zone, to help them locally. And then it would help us with our mission, the 24/7 following the sun model. And that's how it started. I think I joined the company in June 2021, and then we had the first office in September 2021. We started with 5 people. Now here in the office, we are over around 30 people, I think we are right now. And yeah, I think in August, we moved to this new office, which is located in downtown Stuttgart.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Has a good distribution, good quality of air and everything, and we love it here.
And Stuttgart is rife with technology. I was sitting next to somebody who works in tech on the plane ride over here. So there's a lot of tech going on just out, mainframes and elsewhere, right?
Right now in Stuttgart, it has a very strong history in the automobile industry, since we have here Mercedes and Porsche, but also around all the industries that prepare parts for the cars, but also around technology. The center for IBM labs was here in Stuttgart, close to Stuttgart. HP had a big location, Philips as well. And there is lots of technology. And then I think a couple of years ago, they started around Tübingen area, which is also close to Stuttgart, to do a so-called AI hub as well. So it's a quite interesting place for technology, and people are liked here.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we have such a dynamic and diverse team too. I know AI has been such a hot button topic. And so that was something we touched on yesterday in the webinar. We'll talk about a little bit in just a few minutes. But I want to touch on that IBM relationship. I know you came from IBM, but we now have the operating system, which is pretty unique.
Right. And again, this relationship was built before even 21CS took the VSEn mission. There was already a very strong relation between 21CS and IBM as part of some of the ZOS products that 21CS has been doing together with IBM. And then as they were looking for a partner to work on VSE, they thought to contact 21CS, and we thought, yes, that should be a very interesting topic, because again, we trust on the value of the mainframe of the operating system, and we have a very loyal set of customers that they need us, and we are happy to help them and to continue supporting them, enhancing the platform, and that's how it worked out. This relation is also very special because we are the only vendor that are, besides IBM, doing an operating system for the mainframe. And that's important because, again, lots of companies in critical industries depend on us, and we took the challenge, and we're very happy that it's been successful so far.
Yes, I think our customers are happy too. Yeah, the community has been overwhelmed. I've been overwhelmed with the love and adoration just in the short time that I've been in this VSE community, and so I can't imagine how it's been all along. And then now we have 6.4 coming out, and so with the new innovations, do you want to give us some highlights on 6.4?
Sure.
What to expect?
I mean, we first, and that was a little bit an intended strategy, that as customers were needed to move from IBM VSE 6.2 to 21CS VSEn 6.3, that move should not be disrupted at all. It should be, and what we just did, it was only take the source code of IBM VSE 6.2, we build it, we needed to change the name, and we needed to increase the release to avoid confusion with versions from IBM. But that was pretty much it. The look and feel, the feedback we got from the customers, it was like updating from one release to the other within IBM, but now you were using 21CS VSEn. And the good thing, of course, we were growing on the amount of people that were supporting behind to help the customers with the upgrades in case that they had any questions or anything. And now after we did the first version, then our next milestone or challenge, or where we wanted to prove the ecosystem that we're investing in the customers, it was to provide a new release. And that's something that we want to do on a regular basis. So every 2 to 3 years, we will provide a new release. And that's equivalent like IBM in the products that they're investing in ZOS and CVM. Every 2 years, there's usually a new release. And again, I think 6.3 we released in May. I think announced was in March, release was in May 2022. Then we did a 6.3.1 refresh release to add SMDNU, which is the detail that we are providing to make it part of base. And then from there, it has spanned since 2023. Now we have 2025. And we announced it, I think, in September, and we released, I think, 2 weeks ago, or October 15th, or last week. What do we have today?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, it's going fast. So
it was right before your birthday.
Right. And one of the things, of course, this is not only a work that we are doing alone in 21CS. This is something that we do also with the ecosystem and with the vendors. I remember when we did the first release of VSEn, we were just wanted to get it out of the door, and we talked with our vendors and say, hey, in 2 weeks we're going to release this. Can you check it with your version? Say, 2 weeks is kind of a short notice. Next time, please give a little bit more notice. So this time we did, I think, 2 months before we were to release, we started sharing with the vendors. And again, they told us, you can still give us a little bit more ahead of run. But I think, again, the vendors have done also an incredible work. Most of the vendors are compatible. Some usually they need to say, okay, we allow this release as well. So there are small fixes that they might need to do. But all in all, I think the feedback has been great. One of the features that we work a lot in this release was the capability to have a license key. And this license key, in terms of value for the customers, it will allow us to have more flexibility on how we provide evaluations or demos to customers, but also not having to do so many audits, or again, with IBM, it was on a trust basis, but with audits, every now and then they will send an audit to a customer. With us, we want with the key, it's that key will provide for 1 year. And after that, if the license is canceled, there's no need to do any audit because the license is over. So, and I think that will easy the pains of an audit is in both sides, and from us sending the audit and for the customer having the audit. So I think that's a good thing to have this license key. And we have done it in a way that we're thinking of all the different scenarios. We're thinking on the case, most of the customers, they usually need to do DR test for the case that they really have a disaster recovery. They need to make sure that that's working. So we want to have the ability to have a primary key and also a DR key, so that for a DR scenario, that should work without problems. Also, for the case that they go on capacity on demand, that's something also important. Some customers, when they have a peak, they would ask IBM, and that's one of the great benefits of this platform, that you can via software or firmware have more capacity on your mainframe, because usually from what you buy, you have more capacity that is capped. If you don't need all the things, to pay less. But if you need more, the IBM is happy to send you capacity on demand. You pay for that, but again, you don't need a new hardware. It's just software that is scaling up there. And that, of course, in order to be able to manage that, you need to have a key for more capacity as well. Yeah. And that can be done also live and not having to have restart the system or anything like that. So all of that, we have thought about it. And again, we hope that will work fine with the customers. But of course, we're also open to any feedback and see how that works. Besides that, we have done also other things around modernization. The topic around VSE connectors. That's something that most of our customers use. And it's something that IBM started a long time ago. I believe in 2000, there were already the first VSE connectors. And that has been evolving. And as we have been doing more things, also we thought about, and that was actually an idea from one of my fellow IBMers, Wilhelm, that he said, what if you consider, instead of continue to providing the VSEn connectors as a Java tools, which we continue to provide, but also try to package as a container, cloud native applications. And since some of these customers are going in the direction of using Kubernetes, either OpenShift or Rancher, and use or maybe do some tests with Podman, then we have done this test. We have prepackaged everything, deliver everything, so that they don't need to be considering this version of the connector with which version of Java is going to work. So it's a little bit tedious, all the dependencies, and that's the beauty of a container, is everything's prepackaged. And that's also one of the things that we have delivered. What else we have delivered? I think we mentioned yesterday, I will need to double check, but there has also been some other updates that we did on before on 6.3, but they are also in 6.4. Like for example, in SMDMU, this is the capability in Dito to do tape-to-tape compare, but also the logical level. That's also a requirement from a customer. Also with OpenSSL, we did some changes in the VSE crypto services to allow more compatibility with other applications outside of VSE that might not follow the rigorous standards. And that was causing some kind of timeouts. And that we changed it again, working with vendors, working with customers. That's working very good. Then a big one also was the rebase from OpenSSL 1.1.1t. That was the version that we got from IBM back in 2021 to the next LTS release, which is the version 3. And that has huge changes, but I think now that was important again, because that's something to be in a supportive environment. OpenSSL is around cryptography, and whenever there are security fixes, it's important to be up to date on that. What else? SCRT. SCRT for the customers that use subcapacity reporting. That's a key tool, and that's important because some customers may have more capacity in the machine. We talked before about spikes or to be able to confirm it, but as soon as they're using all the capacity, we're happy just to charge to the capacity that they use. And that's this SCRT tool, very important. And now that we have 2 releases on the market, VSEn 6.3 and VSEn 6.4, instead of having to pay for those releases separately, what we have been enabling in the SCRT tool is to aggregate the consumption of both releases and only pay at the price of one. And that's something that, again, something similar that it was already with the multi-version measurement pricing option with IBM, and we're doing something similar again, following the experience and that the customers had with IBM and all the good things, and then try to also enhance and provide those things as well.
One of the great things that I keep hearing time and time again, and I heard it a lot yesterday with the webinar, and you've just said it multiple times, is hearing from the customers, hearing from the vendors. With us being not as ginormous as IBM, but we're still well established. We were established in 1994, I believe. So we've been around for a long time, and we have so many experienced folks. We're able to take that feedback from the customers and really apply it directly to our product, where maybe elsewhere it may get lost kind of in the fold. It's really having that direct contact with the team that is developing and designing, creating the platform. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think to that perspective, one of our uniqueness as a company is that we try to have a very healthy mixture of experts within the team, but also hiring youngsters, because again, as we develop our own products, and VSE was one of these products, we would call it VSEn for the next generation and for the generation to come. So again, our investment is as a very sustainable investment. So that is not something that is just a cash cow, but really we are investing here and helping customers to stay current with the technology. And for that, again, you need this mixture. We hire some experts, and we have hired lots of people from the university, and they are all eager to learn. I have had no issue whatsoever of employees saying, "Oh, mainframe, I don't want to work here." But when they understand the value what the mainframe has for most of the customers, they are willing to help and do something. And I remember the first time that we got the first question from a customer, everybody was trying to, hey, how do we answer this? How can we do the best thing? And I think this attitude that we have in the team is something very remarkable, that everybody is willing to help. The customers are very happy how we help in this as well. So that's working very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration and a lot of individual attention to not just to the customers and the vendors, but to the individual employees. Folks like me who are crossing, from one career path to another, where it might not be as easy to learn as some of these kids coming out of college. You guys have really taken the time to make sure that we understand and that we have that mentorship throughout the entire process, which has been just invaluable. It really has. What can we expect later on? Now that we got 6.4 on the table, what's in the future, especially with all the AI stuff?
So yeah, there are two things. Some of the things that we have already announced in the 6.4 announcement that they were not yet finished as we delivered the product, but we're almost about to finish them. So especially for the SDB client functionality, which is provided with the SDB client product or also in the SDB server. And SDB stands for SQL database. That is our derivative product from IBM DB2 VSE. That we got some requests from customers that when they were working with the SDB client on VSE, reaching out to an DB2 server outside of VSE, like it could be Linux or Windows, they wanted to have a longer password support because the password is tied to the operating system user ID in that case. And because of compliance reasons, they didn't to have only 8-character password was not good enough. So that one is the changes that we're doing in SDB client functionality to support up to 60 characters and alphanumeric and special characters and everything. So again, that's going to be great for the customer for that concrete requirement. So along the lines of security and compliance and making sure that VSE is not falling behind in that case, and that's very important. So that's one thing. Another thing is MQ for VSEn. So that's a product that IBM, because of business reasons, decided not to support it anymore. But it's a very interesting product that they were still IBM CVSE customers. And we thought that's a product that we want to revive, we want to support. It has a very unique proposition about asynchronous message communication. And that helps to interact or integrate VSE with other platforms and send stuff on a synchronous way. And that's something that, as we have provided already the support and we have already some customers using it, the next step is also to modernize what kind of security ciphers is using. Because for the customers that want to enable security on that, then the version that we have is from, I think, 2014 probably, and the ciphers from that time are not very recommendable to use. So that's the reason why we are updating that to use the ciphers that are provided with our crypto services, OpenSSL TLS 1.3, and with that is going to be also again helping customers to stay on the top technology for security reasons. Also, another thing that has to do a little bit with the hardware, but again about security, the IBM C secure IPL or to be able to, whenever you are booting your environment, the operating system, that there's a kind of a check that the image that you're booting is really the image that you were provided by us as a vendor, and that it has not been tampered. That is the secure boot functionality that was provided in the hardware for the SCSI IPL or SCSI boot in the C15 generation, and for the Ficon DASD storage, it was provided with the C16 generation. And that's something that, again, IBM, when they were working on VSE, that was something that they decided not to support at that time. But as we are investing more in VSE, we want to support that as well. So that's also a great thing. What else? We have the C17. That's the latest generation of the hardware. We supported most of the things when at GA. There is one part of that technology that is very new, and it's a huge work to support it. That's the whole so-called Network Express adapter, which is using the DPU, which is a subunit within the processor to have better performance for the network I/O, and that's something that we hope to deliver before the end of the year. And again, till that happens, customers already are doing the C17. They can still use the OSA Express card, or there is a certain convention as well working with CDM. But again, we want to support it natively and to show also how we are working on that. And those are so basic things that we're doing. Besides that, the topic around AI, that's something that is in everybody's word right now, in everybody's mouth.
We got hackathon teams
Right.
working on it. Everyone's working on it, especially with the mid-range machine coming out next year.
Correct. And we had last year, and within this corporation, and maybe another corporation have the same, but it was the idea to do a hackathon. And for the people that don't know what a hackathon is, it's basically with some kind of framework or base rules to let the employees work on ideas they come up themselves for 2 days, and then so some kind of prototype in a presentation, and then of those ideas in each local lab, then we went to the finalist together to the whole Terra Cloud Corporation. And then in that, we were the winners with this idea of doing a VSEn chatbot. And the idea again was based from the experience working with VSE. There is lots of documentation, but nevertheless, working from documentation and then from the examples in documentation to have something concrete to the environment where you're working. I think that's where we want to have a little bit extra value, that this AI with all these generative models and everything, using already existing models, but tuning those models specific for VSE and training for VSE, we believe that we will be able to have a chatbot that is not demanding so much resources, because it's going to be very specific for VSE, but at the same time valuable for VSE customers in a way that they can ask how-to questions, what is questions, and then on the how-to questions, not only get generic examples how to do something, but also being able to connect with the environment and getting a concrete adapted version of the example to your particular system.
Nice.
And that all working on premises, not working on the cloud, because we don't want that the customers feel insecure sending their data to any cloud provider. So again, that's something we're working on right now. It's going to take a while. If you have any ideas or feedback of the use cases you want to have with that, please feel free to get in contact with us, and we'll be happy to work with that on the use cases.
That's wonderful. I know with the chat bot and the documentation, kind of all of those things, where we talked about establishing more resources and education surrounding VSE. So our younger folks and our folks that are in the ZOS side who are interested in VSE, or they touch base with it in some capacity, have those resources at hand. So I'm really excited for getting that out and getting that to everybody. So, wonderful. Do you want to give anybody a shout out while we're here? How about shouting out the hackathon team?
Right. Yeah. And again, the hackathon team did a great job. That's something that we do every year. The year we also had a hackathon team. We had also other ideas. For example, the topic around so far, the way that we have delivering the product, it was more manual way with box folders. We want to do a customer portal, and that's something that the IT team was anyhow working for other products as well. So we're going to leverage that to have a better customer experience. Also around support, a way of getting or collecting all the information that is needed for a support ticket, and be able customers to check if they have latest PTFs or not. Those some of the ideas that are coming from these hackathons, and And again, we're very happy to work on that. So
And
thank
we
you
had
all.
some patents come out, I think, from the hackathons
That's
too.
it as well. Yeah.
It was really exciting because you get to work on your ideas and see them really come to fruition. So I love that. I love that concept. Well, thank you so much, Gonzalo. This has been absolutely delightful. And I have enjoyed Germany so much. I had my pretzel yesterday. I was really excited. So thank you so much for being on. And
Thank you for coming here.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This is VSEnMe. I'm your host, Brittney Painter. We're brought to you by 21CS, and we're here in Germany. Thank you very much. Tune in next time.
Bye-bye.